Hey, welcome to part 2 of the Wilder demo. Today we get to marry an old geezer and the story gets real intense. If you want to play Wilder, part 1 with Rand's story is already out and Bahador's story should be out sometime this month. I'll link everything in the place below where you link things. Let's do this.
And finally, it is here. I eat breakfast that has no taste. Then 2 maids work in tandem to prepare me. They bathe me, cover me in perfume, put makeup on my face. Finally, they dress me. The white gown is beautiful and feels like silk against my skin. You mean it's not actually silk? If you're marrying royalty, you gotta have an actual silk dress. None of this satin shit. Nah. Okay, but what it represents, I feel sick. Downstairs, the entire household waits for me. By now, it is already noon. We set out in a procession line. Uncle leads, followed by my aunt and I, side by side. Bahadur and Rand bring up the rear, walking the traditional 3 steps behind their masters. I'm not gonna look at that guy. I can't bring myself to even look at Rand. My heart still pounds painfully in my chest when I think about last night. I clench my trembling hands to steady them and walk on. Before long, the palace looms. Oh, so pretty palace. Oh, I like this nice, frog eye effect, lens flares, I don't know. Along the way stand our guests, the highest nobility in Zia. Our procession walks through the middle of the crowd, upwards step by step until we reach the top. And there he stands, white-haired, long-bearded, decorated with the finest red robes and glittering jeweled. The Shah. The man who rules all of Zia, my husband. To be, you're not married yet. Shah, my beautiful bride. I glance over my shoulder. Uncle Makram urges me gently with a gesture of his arms. Go, go, go. Aunt Lamia gestures less gently. Oh boy, don't be so mad. Your Majesty. The Shah smiles. His teeth are dull and wine-stained against the white of his beard. A man dressed in a flowing yellow robe steps forward and the crowd hushes in respect for the heart-seer of our city. Honorable citizens of Zia, welcome. Under your gaze and the gaze of the god, these 2 souls shall be joined this day. With that, the ceremony begins. I barely hear a word of it over the pounding pulse in my ears. Once again, I can't help but look behind me. My aunt looks on with a smile, though her eyes flash with warning when she catches my eye. Rand stands still and deceptively obedient, his white skin and red eyes drawing their own looks and whispers from some in the crowd. Bahadur's jaw is clenched, our gazes lock, and for a moment it almost looks like he's going to step forward and speak. But the moment passes. Not. My uncle wipes a tear from his eye when he smiles. It is a happy, proud smile. And may the gods bless us all. My head snaps back to the heart-seer as his words finally filter through. Shah Malik, His Imperial Majesty, ruler of all of Zia. Will you take this woman's hand, leading her through life at your side, love her, keep her for the rest of her life? I will. Lady Erebei, ward of the royal advisor, I didn't say that right. Sheikh Makram. Will you take this man's hand, walking through life at his side, love him, obey him for the rest of your life? Yeah. I mean, boy, this marriage is not going to be great, but I do not want to start it off. I will. The words don't hurt as I speak them, but once they're out, I ache as if they've gutted me. Then it is done. From this day until your dying day, you are man and wife. A deafening cheer rises from the crowd. Hooray! Yay! The Shah, my husband, crooks his arm and I take it, holding on tightly just to keep myself upright. That's a good girl. Come now. He suddenly raises his voice so that everyone can hear. To the banquet! Another cheer rises, and I am swept into the palace on a wave of celebration. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, backgrounds artist, you did a good. The throne room has been transformed for the wedding feast. Tables line the hall from end to end, and the guests, our guests, mill around, unable to sit until the Shah and his bride have taken their seats at the head table. As more of the crowd follows us in, the Shah suddenly stops and turns back to the doors. Halt! My aunt and uncle pause at the threshold, Bahadur and Ran stumbling to a stop behind them. The Jinn! Your Majesty, if you remember, we did discuss... Yes, Makram, I'm not senile yet, thank you. He takes a step, and my uncle's moves out of the way, presenting Bahadur and Ran to the Shah's suspicious eye. The Shah draws himself up, tall as he looks them over, though is it only my imagination that his wrinkled hands are trembling? In my 60 years as ruler of Zia, no lower species has ever been allowed to step foot inside this palace. Rand flinches, red eyes flashing. Oh, look at that angry mouth. Bahadur looks to my uncle and, at his nod, drops into a low bow. You honor us this day, your majesty. That's right, I do. The Shah turns his attention to Ran alone. Ran, who has previously looked bored with the whole affair and was more interested in watching the food being brought to the tables, has been provoked by the words lower species. He meets the Shah's eyes with cold defiance. This act alone could be grounds for public whipping, or worse, if he opens his mouth and... Oh, God! Cover, tell off. You almost murdered me, sir. You are not my fave person at the Mo. But yeah, how do you make choices, guys? How do you make choices? I don't want Rand to get killed. What's gonna be the best option? Yeah, okay. Oh, Rand, you're so silly. Forgive him, your majesty. He is simply overwhelmed, basking in your magnificence for the first time. The Shah, at least, seems appeased. Our family is grateful for your understanding, your majesty. You must think us terribly overprotective, but our precious Erebei has never stepped outside our villa without a Jinn escort for protection. Until yesterday, that was actually true. I have lived a very sheltered life, I know. Well, I don't mind making an exception this once for my beloved on our wedding day. Though you understand that she will not be able to keep her pale companion in the palace, I have royal guards to keep us safe within these walls. Like Hamza. Hamza? A giant of a man who's been standing silently at the Shah's back this entire time gives a grunt and a nod. Oh, hello. The orange looks very good on you, Hamza. Yes, your majesty. Hamza must be Shah's captain of the guard. He certainly got the intimidating look for it. But does he have Bahadur's pecs? There, you see? The Jinn will not be necessary. Oh, you spent so much money on the Jinn! Lamia! Even Aunt Lamia can't quite hide her displeasure at this news. No doubt that many silver pieces she paid for Ran are spinning through her mind right now. Bahadur! Bahadur, don't leave me alone with this creepy old man! I feel Bahadur's eyes on me. I don't want us to be parted. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye to Bahadur, and I barely got to meet Ran, and he almost killed me. I feel less bad about this. Will I never see them again? Of course, your majesty. As you command. Uncle Makra is graceful and polite as always, though I can tell that even he finds the Shah's aversion to Jinn to be utterly strange. Outright paranoia, I heard him call it once, in a private moment at the villa. Do you think the Shah's secretly a Jinn? Do you think? I'm not sure why the Shah is so mistrustful of Jinn when the city is practically built on their backs. One time I tried asking my uncle. He only shook his head and said it's not the slave he fears, but the master who might command them. Shall we, my pretty one? The Shah's words whispered low into my ear bring me back to the present. He guides me to our table, and finally everyone may be seated. He sits in his throne, and I take the space beside him. To his other side sits the Heartseer, and to mine sits my uncle. I look for Aunt Lamia, Bahadur, and Rand, but they have been lost in the throng of guests already. The feast begins. I'm gonna eat food. You guys don't know this about me, but my gallbladder is being removed next week, and until then, alcohol is not my friend. And no food is my friend, actually, but I still gotta eat, and I don't think they have ensure at this great wedding feast, so I take a bite from some bread, but the crumbs taste like ashes in my mouth. Oh, I should have gone with the wine. No, I hate wine. I manage to swallow, then place the bread back on my plate and my hands in my lap. Are there any apricots or something? My dear husband, however, does not hold himself back. Oh no, he eats, he drinks, he laughs, and makes speeches. Deep into his third cup of wine, he suddenly goes quiet and leans into me. My precious flower. Oh. Did you ever see my fourth wife? No, Your Majesty, I never had the chance. I hear that her beauty was unmatched, though. Yes, very pretty little thing. He presses closer, breath hot on my face. Bit of a cold fish, though, in many departments. The words wriggle in my ears like worms. But more repulsive than that are the fingers that find my knee and give it a squeeze. Your Majesty? Shh, no, my darling, I am your husband. The fingers remain, bold and shameless, hidden beneath the table. Endure it, yeah, sorry, but this is my life now. Here we are. I grit my teeth and dig my nails into the palm of my hand. Some important politician of some kind approaches our table to pay his respects to the Shah, and to me too, I suppose. He may be a friend of Uncle Makram's as they clasp hands and then both disappear from the table to speak in private. Uncle Makram, don't leave me! Before he takes his leave, my uncle bows once to the Shah and once to the Heartseer. The Heartseer even bows his head in return. It strikes me, not for the first time, just how respected my uncle is as the Shah's advisor. My thoughts linger on the Heartseer, who is still somehow managing to look wise and mystical as he tucks into a leg of lamb. I was fascinated with the Heartseers as a child. I read all sorts of books about them. I had even wished to be one. Well, now you ain't. Rare humans chosen by the gods with the divine gift of seeing into the truest parts of people's hearts and souls. That sounds fake, but okay. I heard that Zia's Heartseer never leaves the Shah's side lest any traitors or assassins need be weeded out. How cruel my wife is to ignore her poor husband so, on their wedding day no less. His fingers pinch at my thigh, leaning close he breathes into my ear. Oh, but you do smell intoxicating, my flower. Oh, I don't like this fate. I don't like it. I'm not an idiot. I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not an idiot. Swallowing hard, I just stare straight ahead. Thankfully, the Shah is soon distracted by some other important noble passing on their respects. His hand withdraws and I take the opportunity to stand, upsetting the table in my haste. Excuse me, but I must get some air. Not looking back, I leave the table. The captain is not. I feel Captain Hamza's eyes on me, stern and disapproving, but I ignore him. I don't even know where I'm going in this vast palace, but anywhere is better than staying there with him. My lady. Oh, Bahadur, please save me. Why do we have to do Ram first and Bahadur? Why don't you save me? Oh, it's okay. We're okay. Bahadur, where did you come from? Bahadur merely smiles. Oh, my boy. What a truly perfect valet. I couldn't see him at all, but he must have been watching me the whole time. You take the whole protector thing very seriously, don't you? Of course, my lady. May I escort you somewhere? Anywhere. Oh my. Bahadur frowns for a moment, then gestures to a nearby corridor. We slip away from the crowd, mostly unnoticed. The corridor is empty, save for a few servants running back and forth to bring food from the kitchens. Finally, I feel like I can breathe. Bahadur stands shielding me from the view of anyone out in the throne room who might look down this hallway. He doesn't speak, but his face is lined with worry. Oh. My lady, He stops himself and looks down. What is it? This may be the last time we ever speak. He says it quietly, almost to himself. Oh, I can't do that to him. I can't tell him that. Poor Bahadur would feel so bad. Oh, he's so good. I will miss you. My lady. He looks cracked open only for a moment before pulling his face back together with a small, professional smile. You will have far better servants at the palace, my lady. I wish I could have remained your valet my entire life. But I cannot be so selfish. We both have our duties too. Yes, of course, duty. Tears begin to prick at my eyes. Tears of frustration, of fear, of utter helplessness. Do you remember the day we met? Of course I do. I was a little girl coming to my aunt's and uncle's estate for the first time. I was still too young to truly understand that this would be my home now, that my mother and father were never coming back. Bahadur stood just beyond the front door, the first jinn I had ever seen. I was amazed. You just threw yourself into my arms. You caught me though, didn't you? I'd never had so many questions thrown at me. How strong are you? Could you lift a house? Could you fight a lion? I may have been a little overcome. That was before I knew. Knew what, my lady? What an enormous softy you are. You wouldn't hurt a fly. Thank you, my lady, I think. We really have known each other for a long time, haven't we? Bahadur, if I asked... I'm not even sure what I'm about to ask, but my voice cracks around the words. It's a plea, but I don't know for what. Not that it matters, my lady. We shouldn't linger alone together for too long. Bahadur cuts off whatever it is I was about to say and glances anxiously back at the main room. He's not actually worried about anyone missing us. He just doesn't want to hear what I have to say. He doesn't want me to ask him to speak his mind. Coward. I have to go or I really will cry this time. Understood. Goodbye, Bahadur. By some miracle, my uncle has returned and the Shah is no longer at the table. Captain Hamza is like, But unfortunately, Captain Hamza remains. I go to my seat, slipping back into the mask of a dutiful bride. Erebei, His Majesty had to slip away for a moment, but I'm sure your doting husband won't leave you alone for too long. His eyes twinkle as if we're sharing some kind of cute little joke. Oh, I see. I take my seat and sit politely as Uncle speaks to the man next to him, some visiting nobleman, too garishly dressed to be from Zia. I must say, do you hear incredible news coming out of that city of yours those days? Umar certainly keeps all our tongues wagging around here. Ugh, don't ruin my wine by bringing that up, I beg you. I've half a mind to stay in Zaya even after the wedding for good. So, is it truly as we've heard? It's worse! Umar was once the greatest city in the world, no offense, Makram, and now that bastard Yazir is in charge, putting ridiculous new laws and decrees out of his backside, well, I'm afraid that we're doomed. I thought that the guild was running Umar now. Oh, well, the guild may have dragged the king out of his palace and beheaded him in the town square, but mark my words, Yasuru is the one whispering in their ears. And now we have a new ruling committee overturning all tradition, headed by a jumped-up merchant pretending to being a lord. Is it true that Jin and Umar live as free men? The man's tirade pauses as he stares at me, seemingly surprised that I've spoken. The guild have closed their arenas. They've destroyed the slave trade. My house lies in disrepair now that my servants are gone. He turns back to my uncle, face red and bloated with rage. Think of it, Makram. Jinn walking the streets as if they own them. As if they're people. Oh, why? No one will listen to me. Ugh. I guess I'm kind of a defeatist, guys. I don't like this. The backgrounds are beautiful and everyone is very pretty, but I don't like this. There are only so many gross tirades I can stand in one day, and it seems I'm rather at my limit. Excuse me. I've barely sat down before I am on my feet and once again fleeing the table. In truth, it is not just unpleasant conversation that makes me restless. I can't stop thinking about when the feast ends, when all the guests leave, when my family leaves, and I am alone with my husband. My stomach clenches. Where is Bahadur? Out of habit, his face is the one I see among the crowd. Suddenly, it is all I want to find him and demand we finish our conversation from earlier. I want him to comfort me the way he always has. I want him to save me. But Bahadur is nowhere in sight, so I head back down the corridor where I last saw him. No one pays me any mind, and eventually I venture far enough from the main room that I am alone in the quiet with a seemingly endless stretch of closed doors. Well, I suppose this is my home now. I have the right to open doors. Probably. One door leads to a guest bedroom, so does another, then another. One leads to some kind of storage room for antiques, and other such expensive follies. Another opens into a room that is unfinished, half decorated, its eventual purpose a mystery to me. Bahadur isn't in there, but someone else is. The first thing I notice is Ran, crouched low over a huddled bundle of robes on the floor. The second thing I notice is that the bundle of robes is not a bundle of robes at all. It is the Shah, lying crumpled on the ground. Yes! Yes! The third thing I notice, and this is the thing that makes my throat clench in horror, is the blood. All of the blood. It's on the floor, soaking and spreading across the carpet. It's on Rand's hands and arms, making his white skin seem to shine all the brighter. It's on the Shah. No, it's coming from the Shah, spilling out into a still, ghastly river. Ran? Ran turns to me, but he doesn't look afraid or angry. He makes no move to silence me or hurt me. He just stares. Not even at me, but past me into nothing. Ran, what happened? He's dead. He sounds dazed, he sways a little, and so do I. What? I fall against the wall. Oh, gods! The Shah is dead! Thank goodness! Let's go! Ran, we have to get out of here. I don't know if he can even hear me. Ran! Heavy footsteps approach swiftly from the hallway outside, but it isn't the palace guards who come bursting into the room. Bahadur! He looks at the body, then Ran, then finally at me. My lady, his eyes widen in horror. And how must this look to him? The Shah dead, ripped apart, Ran covered in blood, and me. Me. Bahadur, I didn't do this. More footsteps are approaching now. The Shah's absence must have been noticed. Or perhaps we were too loud. Barely missing a beat, Bahadur grabs my arm and drags me across the room. What? He takes me to the alcove of a bay window and pushes me up onto the ledge, following after and pulling the heavy velvet drapes close to hide us. That very second, a whole squad of guards pour into the room, spears and swords drawn. I watch through the tiny gap between the curtains as they take in the gory tableau before them, then point their weapons at Ran. Ran rises to his feet slowly, still showing no signs of either fighting or fleeing. The commotion has also drawn guests from the throne room to clamor and poke their noses into the room. The air is filled with cries of shock and furious whispers as the news spreads person to person throughout the palace. Enough! The bellow rises from the rest of the noise, and suddenly a hush falls. Hamza steps into the room, cutting through civilians and his own guards like they're nothing. Captain Hamza. He doesn't start at the sight of his emperor lying dead on the floor, but he does seem to change somehow. When he rounds on Ran, there is none of that stoic calmness left in him. There is hatred in his eyes. Seize the jinn. Oh, that's an angry face, man. Doesn't help that, his highlights are all red. Oh. The guards swarm around Ran, and he doesn't resist. You did this. Why? Speak, creature! Fine. Keep your secrets, filth. They won't be yours for long. Hamza turns to one of his men. The Heartseer, now! The man runs and soon returns with Heartseer. The Heartseer cringes away from the bloody sight of the Shah, profound sadness etched into his gentle, wise face. My heart constricts as my uncle follows him into the room, looking distressed beyond words. He wasn't just the Shah's advisor, he was his friend. You! He stares at Ran in shock. Fear rises within me. If Ran did this terrible thing, what will become of my uncle, the man who brought him into the palace? Look at me, Jin. Ran slowly turns his face, not even flinching as the Heartseer lays his hands over his forehead and chest. Nobody speaks, nobody breathes, as we all wait for the Heartseer to finish his reading. Suddenly he gasps and stumbles back. Huh? Well, what did the beast's heart reveal? The Jin is guilty. He followed the Shah to this room. He came to kill him. Even the slave bands could not contain the strength of an albino Jin. He ripped the Shah apart with his bare hands. But on whose orders? On the order of his mistress, the wife. What? No! Heartseer, you lie! I knew those guys were bogus. Oh! What? No! I'm sorry, Makram. That is what I saw. On my order? Bahadur is looking at me, his gaze heavy. No, I did it. I hiss the words as loud as I dare. Bahadur doesn't respond, but his watchful eyes turn back to the events unfolding beyond the curtain. Where's the girl? Hamza, please, my niece is... She wouldn't do something like this. The Heartseer has spoken. Gods, find Lady Erebei and bring her to me. Almost as an afterthought, he adds, kill the Jin. Ran, who has been as still as a corpse this entire time, suddenly comes alive. He wrenches free of the men holding him and surges for the door. Thanks to the confusion and his incredible speed, he manages to slip past Hamza, past the guards and into the crowd. The sea of guests parts to let him pass, everyone flinching away in fear. After him! As the commotion continues to grow, Bahadur also springs into action. He flings the window behind us open. Come, my lady. He holds out his hand. Yeah, we're gonna Aladdin this shit up. Wordlessly, I accept his hand and let him pull me after him out through the window. We slip out, completely unnoticed thanks to Rand's distraction. Oh, guys. But guys, though. Okay. Bahadur doesn't let go of my hand, even as we escape the palace grounds, even as we dart through the back streets, even as we come closer and closer to home. Just as well. I can't feel my legs, I can't feel anything. I'm not sure I could even move under my own power. They think that I'm a murderer. They think I killed the Shah, my husband, my emperor. I'm a dead woman. Quickly, my lady. We make it back to the villa and Bahadur ushers me inside. The sun has set and the house lies in darkness. We don't have long. We may have a head start, but soon the whole city guard will be. Clatter. Huh? They're already here. They're going to arrest me. I'm going to be executed. No, it's just Ran. Calm down. I know how this works. Bahadur steps in front of me, shielding my body with his own. But it isn't the city guard lying in wait. It's Ran. It's Ran, rifling through my aunt's and uncle's belongings. You. Ran barely acknowledges us, still searching the shelves and cupboards for what? How did you beat you back? Not hard. Humans, they're slow, weak, and stupid enough to fall for a simple feint. You trick them? They all think they're chasing me back to the other side of the city. It wasn't hard to double back. He says it like it's simple, like it's normal for him. He says it while pocketing my aunt and uncle's possessions. What are you doing? Stealing. Don't worry, I won't take much. Almost everything in the palace is shiny and pointless. Ran, stop! Bahadur's voice is gentler than I'd expect it to be. We need to come up with a plan. Got a plan, thanks. You're going to run? Far, far away. Huh? Take Lady Erebei with you. Ah! Bahadur! My lady, please, think. You cannot stay here. As long as you are in Zia, you are in danger. You must flee. Bahadur looks to Ran, troubled. You must take her. Keep her safe. Bahadur.
I guess we got one option. That's the option. Is that the end of the demo? Sneak peek, Ran's story.
We are each other's only hope. We managed to sneak through the streets unseen until we finally reached the market. Now we have to make it to the gates. As we pass the fountain, I take the opportunity to fill the water skins. Ran, here, take this. Ran reaches out to the skin, and his fingers accidentally brush against mine. He snatches his hand back like it's been burned. Awkwardly, I'm very awkward, please remember, I say nothing and tie my water skin to the belt of my cloak. Then we're moving on. This way! I freeze at the sound of approaching voices. Ran doesn't. He slips like a shadow into a nearby alcove, and I follow just in time. A pair of city guards walk into view, talking amongst themselves, but still clearly on the lookout. They know then, everyone in the city must know by now. Still chatting, they come to a natural stop, right by our hiding place. I press close to Ran's left side, as close as I can without touching him, and whisper, "What should we do?" He doesn't respond. His eyes don't even so much as flicker towards me. Ran, what's the plan? Nothing. Not even an acknowledgement that I've spoken. Holding in my annoyance, I keep still and silent, waiting for his move. But he hates me. Ran. Oh, we've time skipped, I think. I'm not going to Umar. What? And where? Ran spreads his arms. I'm here. Here? The hills? No, it's not safe. As long as the humans stay away, it's perfectly safe. Not for me. He gives me a look that says, and what does any of this have to do with you? You never had any intention of helping me, did you? You were never going to come with me to Umar. No. He turns and walks away with long strides, white body quickly engulfed by the blackness of the forest. But he's too swift and sure-footed, and I am soon lost in the trees. I am alone. Sometimes I catch a glimpse of his kindness. How's your arm? It still hurts. Rand's hand reaches out and I flinch automatically. Oh, surprise boy. It's only when he falters and freezes that I realize my mistake. Sorry, can you take a look at it? He hesitates a little longer before reaching out again and running his hand over the curve of my shoulder. Is it dislocated? No. If your arm was dislocated, you'd be in a lot more pain, and you wouldn't be able to move it. That would be obvious at a glance. I've pushed him enough today, so I hold back on asking how he knows these things. You just sprained it when you got grabbed last night. It'll probably start to feel better by nightfall. We can take it a little slower until then. This unexpected gentleness throws me off balance. Looking up at him, in surprise our eyes lock. Sparks are flying in the air again, fizzling and crackling as the both of us refuse to break the gaze, just like they did on the night that he tried to kill you, girl! We'd better get going. Finally, Ran withdraws. The sparks disappear immediately. I stand feeling a lot steadier than before. But would I be a fool to trust him?
Oh no! Captain Hamza, no! Lady Erebei, you are under arrest for the murder of the Shah. Your jinn will be held for questioning and then destroyed. Oh, I don't like when you say destroyed. No, just like murdered. Do you have anything to say?
I didn't do it. I didn't kill anyone. Hamza sneers. He doesn't believe me.
The Hatsir judged you guilty and will do so again in a true court of law.
Hamza signals for the men to get back on their horses. As a soldier comes to drag me to my feet, Ran stops them with a word.
Wait. Silence, Jin. You've had your chance to answer questions once we're back in Gia. I don't want to go to Zia. Just kill me here. I'll tell you everything now, so just kill me here.
Ran. Hamza pauses, considering before turning back to Ran. Go on. I want to trust him. Oh, don't spoil that he didn't get killed. I mean, I know it's a dating sim and you gotta, have sexy times, but I want him to trust me. Is it truly impossible? Oh, he didn't show me anything. Okay, yay, secrets. Oh, wow, that was fun. That was a nice long demo. I hope you guys loved all of my voices for all of the characters. I had a good time, and yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I think it's gonna be fun. And sexy. Oh, I'm really real excited for the lady love interest. Okay. Oh, I hope you guys try it out and like it. You can play Ran, and then in March you can play Bahadur's playthrough. Oh man, Bahadur. Oh, Bahadur. I love you.